From the depths of ancient forests, we hear the distant voices of our ancestors.
Good morning. Welcome to the First Unitarian Universalist Church of Richmond. My name is Frank Corsaro, and I serve on your board of directors. I'm of average height, medium complexion, with thinning gray hair and a neatly trimmed goatee. I'm wearing glasses and a warm and cozy dark blue sweater gifted to me by my wife for Christmas. She has good taste. I'm also wearing a tricolor beaded lanyard made by one of our young adults. My beads are white, tan, and my favorite color, maroon. The beaded lanyards are being sold by the young adults to help raise funds for their trip next June to the annual General Assembly of the Unitarian Universalist Association in Baltimore. Most of them have never attended a General Assembly. I have been fortunate to have attended 9 of them. Kudos to the young adult group for their initiative to learn more about our faith tradition and perhaps discover ways to be a part of shaping our future. The holiday season isn't a home stretch, but more celebrations of the mosaic of diversity that is Unitarian Universalism still awaits us. Peace and goodwill abound us, but please be mindful that the holiday season for some of us can also be a time of reflection and sorrow rather than joy. I invite everyone to stay for coffee after the service. And if you need a hug, whether in celebration or solace, don't be afraid to reach out to those of us wearing warm, cozy sweaters. And enjoy today's Kwanzaa service. And now, as is our tradition, we invite any newcomers who may be with us for the first time or second time or however many times, if you're willing to introduce yourselves and tell us where you're from. Our minister of the mic, Jamie, we gladly come around and hear who you are and where you're from.
Good morning, I'm Sabrina.
I'm James.
And we're visiting from First UU of Burlington, Vermont. We're down visiting family.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Sharon Fields, and I have Sherry Tyler with me, and I have Thelma. I didn't want to call her by her nickname. And so we live out in Henrico and in Chesterfield, and we are visiting today to say thank you because you allow us to use your space for our book club, Sojourners Book Club. And so we're here. Faith Harris, Reverend Faith Harris, invited us. So we're just delighted to be here today, and hopefully we're going to get more and more out of your service too. Thank you.
They're everywhere.
Good morning. My name is Linda Braxton. I was invited here by Charlene Sinclair, and thank you for having me.
Oh, good morning.
Hi, I'm Christian. I've been here a couple times. Not really an official member just yet, but I've been here for a couple weeks or online. But I'm here today. I'm from Richmond, or grew up in Richmond primarily. It's been here long enough, so yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Lakeisha Cook. I am the co-executive director of Virginia Interfaith Center for Public Policy. I was invited this morning by Reginald Gordon. This is not my first time here. I came back when we did a Soul Suppose event a couple of months ago, so it's really good to be here with you this morning.
Good morning. My name is Andrea Crump, and I'm part of the Sojourners Book Club. As am I, Linda Lee.
Good morning, I'm Ann. I'm visiting our daughter and her family who are here, who live here, and she goes here, and I am from Michigan.
Are there any others? Wow, what a great start. Now, also, as is our custom, I invite you to rise as you're able and greet your neighbors.
Habarigani. What is the news? Kwanzaa is a synthesis of various African cultural practices in the Swahili language. It is a gathering of community members for a ritual celebration of agricultural harvest and a demonstration of reverence for the creator, and the goodness of life. Kwanzaa is ritual dedicated to Africans in the diaspora, but we extend it to all freedom-loving, value-based peoples. The practice of ritual is essential to the human existence, and every religion and every culture boasts some ritual that helps its members ground themselves, identify who they are, where they come from, and how they may thrive together. Rituals help us heal, remember, define ourselves, and chart a new course. Kwanzaa reinforces the values necessary for any people to survive and thrive, whatever the social and political environment. Kwanzaa begins on the 26th day of December and ends on the 1st day of January. Each day of 7 highlights one of the Nguzo Saba, or principles or life values. The first day is umoja, unity, and the second day is kujikajalia, self-determination. The third day is ujima, collective work and responsibility. The fourth day is ujama, cooperative economics. The fifth day, nia, purpose. The sixth day is kuumba, creativity, and the seventh day is imani, faith. These are the values of people who deeply revere themselves, all humanity, and the earth where we live. I opened with Habarigani, the daily greeting during Kwanzaa celebration, and it means, what is the news? The answer is the principle for the day. Today, the principle is ujama, cooperative economics, which includes economic self-reliance, generosity, and shared wealth. Habarigani. All are welcome today to celebrate the ritual deeply grounded in human dignity, reverence for all, life, and hope for a livable future. Welcome.
Beacon of Freedom by Tracy Johnson. We kindle our chalice flames this morning, awakening the fire of our ancestors in our hearts. Beacon of freedom held out to light the way. Light of reason illuminating the path. Spark of courage igniting our spirits aglow with hope for all we endeavor to do together. Holy flame of times past, brighten this present moment that we may be the love that is our center and our foundation both. Blessed be.
Now please rise in body or spirit and let us sing our opening hymn, 156, Old Freedom.
Good morning, y'all. I want to teach it to you real quick because I want to make sure everybody enjoys singing this because it's fun. It goes, oh, freedom. Your turn. Oh, freedom. All right? Oh, freedom. Go. Oh, freedom. Onwards. Oh, freedom over me. Yeah, go. Oh, freedom over me. And then the chorus. And before I'd be a slave, I'd be buried in my grave and go home to my God and be free. Let's do it.
As human life flows from the source in Africa to the forward direction, so we offer this libation to the west, north, south, and east, inviting the spirits of those who have given us our lives, our nature, our identities, and our energies to come and take their proper place among us at this time. As we pour to the west, as we pour. The ancestors are still with us. As we pour to the west, we call upon the nameless creator of all, that is upon our gods, our goddesses, our Risha, those timeless power of the earth, light and water, known to us by many names. Ashe. As we pour to the south, we call upon the spirit of our intellectual parents, our teachers, our philosophers, and our artists, those unknown to us and the many we have privileged to know. We call upon Frederick Douglass and Sojourner Truth, W.E.B. Du Bois, Booker T. Washington, and Ida B. Wells. We call upon Zora Neale Hurston, Romare Bearden, Gwendolyn Brooks, James Baldwin, Miles Davis, Maya Angelou, and Nikki Giovanni. We call upon our African-American Unitarian ancestors reaching out to 1860. William Jackson, Francis Ellen Watkins Hopper, Peter Clark, Fanny Berrier, Don Goodloe, Clarence Williams, Edward Edgerton Brown, William Carter, and Eugene Sparrow. Ashe. As we pour to the north, we call upon the spirit of our leaders, our rebels, our reformers, our revolutionary, and our visionary. We call upon Harriet Tubman, Nat Turner, Denmark Vesey, Marcus Garvey, Ella Baker, Martin Luther King Jr., El Hajj Malik El Shabar, Fannie Lou Hamer, Rosa Parks, John Lewis, and Muhammad Ali. We call upon our African American Universalist ancestors reaching back to 1785. Gloucester Dalton, Amy Scott, Nathan Jackson, Joseph Jordan, Thomas Wise, Mary Jordan, Joseph Fletcher Jordan, Annie Willis, Jeffrey Campbell, Marguerite Campbell Davis. And we call upon our African American Unitarian Universalist ancestors, Judge Wade McCrae, Henry Hampton, the Reverends David Eaton, Marjorie Bowen Wheatley, and Hope Johnson. Ashe. And finally, as we pour to the east, we call upon the spirit of our remote ancestors whose name has been hidden from all of us. We also call upon our great-grandparents, our departed mothers, fathers, our grandparents, our brothers and sisters, our sons and daughters. Their names are in our hearts. So I invite all of you present this morning to call out the names of your departed loved ones. Sherman Logan Sr., Ashe. We welcome those who have answered our call and have joined in our celebration. May we be one with them and with one another in the river of life. Let us share with one another even as they have shared with us. Together, Ashe, Ashe, Ashe.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The 7 principles of Kwanzaa are called the Nguzo Saba, and it's called that because the 7 principles is in Swahili. It's the language. And each principle is represented by a day in Kwanzaa.
Umoja, unity, to strive for and maintain unity in the family, community, nation, and race.
Kujichagulia, self-determination, to define ourselves, name ourselves, create for ourselves, and speak for ourselves.
Ujima, collective work and responsibility to build and maintain our community together and make our brothers and sisters' problems our problems and solve them together.
Nia, purpose, to
Yes.
to make our collective vocation the building and developing of our community in order to restore our people to their traditional greatness.
Yay.
Amani, faith. To believe with our hearts in our people, our leaders, and the righteousness and victory of our struggle. Kumba, creativity. To do always as much as we can in order to leave our community more beautiful and beneficial than we inherited.
Unity that brings us together. Umoja. 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 Unity that brings us together. Kujichagulia. Kujichagulia. We will kujichagulia. We will determine who we are. We will determine who we are. Ujima. Working and building our union. Ujima. Working and building our union. Ujima. Working and building our union. Ujama. We'll spend our money wisely. Ujama. We'll spend our money wisely. Ujama. We'll spend our money wisely. We know the purpose of our lives. We know the purpose of our lives. We know the purpose of our lives. Kuumba. All that we touch is more beautiful. Kuumba. All that we touch is more beautiful. Kuumba. All that we touch is more beautiful. Imani. We believe that we can. We know that we can. We will any way that we can.
Our meditation words are from Elizabeth Alexander's praise song for the day. Say it plain that many have died for this day. Sing the names of the dead who brought us here, who laid the train tracks, raised the bridges, picked the cotton and the lettuce, built brick by brick the glittering edifice they would then keep clean and work inside of. Praise song for struggle, praise song for the day, praise song for every hand letter signs, the figuring it out at the kitchen tables. Some live by love thy neighbor as thyself, others by first do no harm or take no more than you need. What if the mightiest word is love? In today's sharp sparkle, this air, anything can be made, any sentence begun on the brink, on the brim, on the cuffs. Praise song for walking forward in that light. Let us sit for a moment in the silence of that light. Spirit of life, God known by many names, we come together this day to give thanks for all the blessings of the earth and honor of the great goodness which is manifest in all creation. We pray that the spirit of Kwanzaa be infused in every aspect of our daily lives, that we may constantly remember the benefits and obligations of family, community, and neighborhood. May the lights of the 7 candles illuminate our daily affairs and guide us to the fulfillment of our true potential. May we also always remember our ancestors with reverence and love, and may they share with us their great wisdom and strength as we seek to preserve and continue the heritage that they left us. May the Nguzo Saba become beacon to us to live lives in service, humility, unity, faith, love, and strength. May this be so. Amen. Ashe. We lost our umoja, the basic concept and core value of our being we, therefore I am, at the time of our history that began some 300 years ago. We didn't step on the soil of a new world with a dream like many others, but hauled on the ground like a cargo as merchandise. We were each treated individually as a unit, but not tied as a family or a group bonded together by the same dialect. Misery was the food we've been feeding to fill our empty stomach. Agony was the water we've been drinking to quench our thirst. Depths of our footmarks were weights we've been carrying our lives with trial after trial of the thorny path. No matter how hard we worked, our baskets were empty. No matter how hard we labored, the returns of our toils were unbearable lashes. No matter how humbly we begged and ardently prayed, God always turned his face away from us. But all of those detestable days are gone as the second millennium faded away. Shackles of curse are removed from our necks and wrists. Our burdens are removed from our backs. The rewards of our day of labor is reasonable wage. Why don't we embrace one another with joy? Because the only thing remaining is our determination. As daybreak sun is rising from yonder horizon, our darkest day has passed, for daybreak light is brighter than ever, pleasant as spring breath. We have good reasons to celebrate for a moment. Nevertheless, don't prolong the time of this festival because it may make you stray away from reality and to dwell in a far-fetched world. As long as you don't fold the wings but spread wide and keep flapping them, though sometimes encountering high winds, you can fly higher than the highest ridges of a mountain. If you keep swimming upstream, though you may confront falls and rapids, you come to your old home where your parents risked their lives to spawn and enable you to hatch from an egg one day and rejoice overflowing water in the ocean to gladden your life. If you dock with a swift gallop, not abandoning tomorrow's dreams, no matter how immeasurably vast in the wilderness, you'll reach the horizon before the sun sinks into the other side of the world. It is time to restore our umoja, a laudable custom once lost during our darkest days. Recover umoja with our ancestral heritage, the good moral standards to sustain I as us.
I want to introduce Kristen Shaw. I met her because she is a soloist at One Voice Chorus, a group around town that I play for, whose mission is to bring people of all cultures together. So please enjoy Kristen.
Oh, Kwanzaa, oh, Kwanzaa, oh, Kwanzaa, Kwanzaa, oh, Kwanzaa.
Good morning. My name is Charlene Sinclair. Before I do the reflection, though, I am so puffed with pride of our young people. And I just think we gotta, come on now, y'all gotta stand up. Isaac, Moni, Ruby, Lucas, Andrew, Adam, yay! They're going to be a tough act to follow. It is so good to see all of you. Normally when I do come, if I'm not on video, I'm sitting in the corner, so I see the backs of your heads, my own 50 Shades of Grey. So, but it is so good to just see your faces and to be able to see all of your beautiful smiles. I really appreciate being here with you. So, have you ever received an assignment that on the surface felt so simple until you really got into it and you're like, what the heck was I thinking about? When we started planning this service, my Zoom went out, and then I came back in to find out I was doing the reflection. And I thought, okay, I could do this. I was like really very honored by it. And, then I started thinking about, well, what am I going to talk about? What am I going to talk about? And I realized it's not actually that easy, because we're sitting in this space, this congregational space, and I actually got stuck because I thought to myself, what do you bring to this community? How do you talk about Kwanzaa to this multiracial community when you're talking about something so deeply anchored in your African culture? What do you say? How do you make it meaningful? How does it become more than performance or spectacle? And so it's within that context that I really had to push myself, because it's no good if we're not in this conversation together. So I realized too that many of you know, I'm an immigrant, Guyanese by birth. I actually did not grow up with Kwanzaa. And so I started thinking about, well, what does it mean? What does it mean to me? When did it mean something? And I have to give, our friend Deborah Coleman some deep credit, because it was Deborah that had us start doing Kwanzaa here at First UU. And so Kwanzaa came into my consciousness, not just as something floating around, but as something that you really need to engage. And then exactly like 4 years ago, in 2020, whew, yeah, right? So we had just elected Biden, but, I was deeply involved in electoral work. And we were still having to elect Raphael Warnock and John Ossoff in Georgia. We were all in it. And we said, well, we're going to text bank, we're going to phone bank, and we'll do it with the theme of Kwanzaa, right? So, how do we keep people energized? How do we keep them going? We were trying to get black voters out, and we said, okay, we're going to do Kwanzaa. We're going to have young people. We're going to talk about the principles every day. We're going to text bank. We're going to frame our conversation in each principle. We had it all worked out. It was beautiful, and it was performance and spectacle, right? And then we were able to actually get Dr. Malana Karenga, the creator of Kwanzaa, to come and talk to us. It shifted everything for me. I want to tell you what Dr. Karenga said during the teach-in. I went back, I had notes, I had a video. This was how he defined Kwanzaa. He said that Kwanzaa is a time for celebration of the good life, the good of family, community, and culture, the good of cultivating, reaping, and sharing the harvest of rich, fertile fields, forests, and collective work. It's about common solidarity, righteousness, and relentless struggle to bring good into the world. Kwanzaa is an act of freedom, an instrument of freedom, and a celebration of freedom. It is righteous and relentless struggle to expand the realm of human freedom, and if we approach it right, it is not only a remembrance and a reflection, but it's also a reaffirmation and a recommitment to the good. And so that's the Kwanzaa I want to talk about. Beginning with the remembrance. When we talk about remembrance, we talk about the remembrance of our ancestors. Now, this is a tricky thing. I've been inside of groups where, you hold hands, you talk, you call out your ancestors, and some people are not that pleased with their ancestors. Some people are quiet. They don't feel that they could say Ella Baker. They're afraid that they have to say Master so-and-so from plantation so-and-so, and there's a shutdown that happens. But I have to tell you that if we do not take the time to actually look at our past clear-eyed and sober, we can never create the kind of future that we want. And so we cannot faithfully even be in the present because the past is messy for all of us. Let me tell you, I got some people. Woo, I've got people. But that's the reality of life. That's the real. And when we do the work of creating the good, sometimes we want to act as though life begins from where we stand right now. And it doesn't. We create this whole idea, this myth. I told Faith and I were talking with her team, and I started talking about the mythology of Eden, the idea that somehow we were ever in a place that was beautiful, that was clean, that wasn't messy, that didn't have conflict, that didn't have strife. We were never there. And if we cannot clear-eyed look at that, then the strategies that we develop will be cracked. The foundations will not be able to hold us. So the remembrance is, how do we actually look at the world as it is in order to create the world that we want? We are in a battle right now. People want us to be in Eden. They don't want to deal with the messy. No critical race theory, no history, no understanding of all of the crimes of the past, as though somehow by pushing it in the closet, it will not have an impact or has not had an impact on all of our lives individually and collectively. So we have got to take remembrance seriously. It's not just ritual. It is an act of moving us closer to justice and to the good. Then we talk about the reflection that Karenga talks about. Reflecting on what it means to be an African in the world. And for those that are not African, what does it mean to not be an African in the world? What does it mean to be and to not be an African in the world? Do we even stop to ask ourselves, what have we come into ourselves with and through? And most importantly, can we actually think about and talk about what it means to be Black? What does it mean to actually be Black in this context, in these times? You know, I know a lot of really well-meaning people that say, I don't see color. I think that's insulting, because that means you don't see the life I've lived. It is important for you to understand what race and color has done, how it has shaped you, how it has shaped me, how it has shaped the world that we are trying to move through. Because if we don't understand that, then what we do is shallow. So we have to actually reflect on what does it mean to be Black. And I would actually assert that if we have the courage to do that, then we have the courage to actually say, what does it mean to be woman? What does it mean to be gay? What does it mean to be trans? Because it is the doorway by which we actually ask ourselves, what does it truly mean to be human and to be made to not be human? So we must be able to have the courage to do the reflection. I remember reading, most people that know me know that I'm a big W.E.B. Du Bois fan. And in Black Reconstruction, when he talks about the Civil War, one of the things that he talked about was the fact that until Black men at that time picked up a gun, they were not considered even men. When we reflect on what does it mean in this country, in this context, we then have to ask ourselves, what is the country we have built when the only thing that makes you man is your ability to kill? That's what it means when we reflect, when we look with sober-mindedness about who we are and how we've come this way. And I have to say, because we are all justice-minded people, we work for justice, you know, we look at our principles, our values, and we move forward with it. And oftentimes, because we don't do that deep reflection, we are actually working for justice on the basis of a lie. And the lie is who Black people really are. Because we think oftentimes that Black people are the stories of victimhood that we have heard. We think Black people are who we see on television. We don't think about Black people not as impoverished, that need our help, that need us from powerful places to reach down and pull them up. But the truth of the matter is, what do you think about a people that have dealt with the kind of violence, the degradation, the dishumanity for hundreds of years and still love, still show grace, kindness, joy? What would it look like if we looked at Black people as the symbol of what we ought to be as humans, not who we need to save? That's what it looks like when we have the courage to do that deep reflection. We begin to see Blackness as not something to run from, but something to run towards, because that is the symbol of grace. We can be awestruck by the brilliance that we see, rather than to actually move ourselves into a position of power and privilege, because we're going to save them. And then we have to recommit ourselves. If all of those things are so, if we are no longer in that mythical place, if we have the courage to see the world as it is, if we have the courage to see Black people as beautiful, brilliant beings, if we have the courage to think about how we have actually been formed by a world that denigrates so many others, if we have the courage to do that, then we get to then say, what then must we do? That looks different when we're able to do that. Karenge says that at that point, we can recommit ourselves to create a good and just society, and that the principles of Kwanzaa, as with our own UU principles, they become the guidepost. They become the guide that helps us journey collectively towards that new world. Now, as I think about Kwanzaa and begin to think about how do I embrace this process and invite you to embrace the process. I actually always want to think about, like, what are the principles that I want to focus on as I move into this new year? Because remember, we have to stop, we think, we reflect, and then we recommit to do the work. For me, this year, you can have yours. These are mine. This year, I'm focusing on 3. Umoja, unity. Ujamaa, cooperative economics. And Imani, faith. First, Umoja. It's not by accident that Kwanzaa begins with the principle of unity. Reverend Sherman, what you read was so powerful. Because the unity that Kwanzaa is talking about is a deep kinship. It is a deep belonging to each other. It's not just that, we kind of do things together. It's something much more powerful than that. And it is one of the hardest things that we can do. When I was in seminary, I read Reinhold Niebuhr's Moral Man and Immoral Society, and it stuck with me till this day. Because what Niebuhr says is that, we can do this when we are deeply close to someone. They're our mother, they're our sister, they're our brother. But the further we go, the harder it becomes. We actually are not conditioned to think of each other as kin, as brother and sister. We say the words, friend, sister, beloveds. They're actually rather trite because we don't know how to be that, right? So Niebuhr says it's what we have to work at. The words are not enough. We actually have to do things differently to be able to actually be in unity. So what Niebuhr also says, and this is the hard part for me, because I like to think I'm a good person. I mean, I really like to think I'm a good person. I just did an Enneagram. This is how much I like to think I'm a good person. And Enneagram tells you what your, deep motivations are, and I'm a considerate helper. That's my Enneagram type. I'm a considerate helper because I like to think that, I'm worthy because I'm good. I do good things for good people and, but Niebuhr actually puts me in check because what he says is that oftentimes we do the good, not because we're actually attempting to create the good, but we're actually attempting to elevate ourselves. We're altruistic, we're benevolent, we're good people. Oh my, right? Talk about us dealing with just our own stuff. So when we anchor in Umoja, it is both a promise, an invitation, but it's also a call for an interrogation. Why am I doing this? What am I called into? Is this about me? Or is this truly about the community I'm trying to build? Fanon says that the first thing that must go must be individualism. Because until we learn that we are all so deeply connected, that if harm comes to you, harm comes to me. If harm comes to me, harm comes to you. Until we understand that that's the unity we're striving for, then it becomes impossible for us to actually do the good, to create that good work. The next one that I'm focusing on is Ujamaa, cooperative economics. Now, this is a big one. This is mine. Like this is how I actually try to live my life. Not because I kind of, barter and things like that. That's not what this is about. But it is economics in the truest sense of the word, even the biblical sense of the word, household. It is about how we meet each other in the place of social, political, and cultural relationship. And the reality is that we meet each other in that place, in this country, in this moment, and through our history from a framework of a rabid capitalist society. We can't get to the place of unity from that space. So what does it mean to actually practice a cooperative economics? What does it mean to practice being in relationship with each other, recognizing that the world that we live in is designed to make us harm each other? So how do we do it differently? And what's important about that is that, you know, I've done organizing, social justice work just about all my adult life, and we talk a really good game. You know, if you listen to us, you would think we came out of like Socialism 101. Really. But our actions are very capitalistic. They're really about power over each other. It's really about pushing people to succumb to our will. What does it mean to be able to truly give up that in order to find yourself, to fully find yourself, to fully find each other? So, cooperative economics in these times are actually one of the most counter-revolutionary things we could do. Look around us. We are now on the precipice of a country that is being led by the most rabid, capitalistic, horrible systems that there are. Talk about the 1%. How will we care for each other in that kind of an environment if we're not prepared to actually free ourselves from it, to do the work of freeing ourselves from it? So right now, our revolutionary force is our ability to be in relationship across difference. It is to understand that we are all part of this human family. We are a part of the creation of the world, because this capitalism is not just about my flesh and bones, it's about the earth too. It is about destruction of everything, creating differences that will make us turn on each other. So when we talk about cooperative economics, we're talking about how do we create a cooperative process of being in political, social, cultural, and economic relationship with each other. And then finally, Imani, faith. This principle is for the final day of Kwanzaa. Karenga says that you have to sit with yourself in deep meditation on that final day and ask yourselves 3 questions. 1, who am I? 2, am I really who I say I am? And 3, am I all I ought to be? Those are the questions that we must ask ourselves, I would posit, not just on the first day of January, but we have to have the courage to ask ourselves those questions over and over and over again. Because it is only when we are able to even face our own stuff. I almost said that other word. Okay? It is only then that we can actually live into all the beauty, the divinity, the sacrality of each and every one of us, and to be able to see it in each other. So, on January 1st, I'm going to be asking myself those questions. And I want to think that you're asking them alongside of me. And that together we're going to actually be okay and have the courage to keep doing that, because we want to be able to be in unity with each other. We want to know we're brothers and sisters. We want to be able to be a revolutionary force that refuses to be divided, that refuses to be divided, so that we can truly bring love into the world. And agape, political affairs, Joy James calls it, agape is a love that is a political will to bring it into the world. And so I am going to close with Joy James' words, that despite the structural violations that sever our connections with each other, brokenness is mended through connections to the past. Let's not be afraid of looking at that past. Through the present, let's work towards how we are with each other right now in order for us to move into that future of the good. The knowledge from those who watch over us and care for us are both here. It's in our broader community, it is the living, but it's also those that have transitioned. We can grab a hold of it. Those ancestors, even the messy ones, have something to teach us. We can grab a hold of it. And through that, we can work towards this spirit of an agape love. So let us work towards that today and in the future. Happy Kwanzaa.
Good morning. This is a looping pedal. Don't let it scare you. Da-da-da. Please be on that one. Okay. Where's breaths? Yeah, we're doing breaths first. Sorry. Do you know what it is?
Dum 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 dum
Listen more often to things than to beings. Listen more often to things than to beings. 'Tis the ancestors' breath when the fire's voice is heard. 'Tis the ancestors' breath in the voice of the waters. Those who have died have never, never left. The dead are not under the earth. They are in the rustling trees. They are in the groaning woods. They are in the crying grass. They are in the moaning rocks. The dead are not under the earth. So listen more often to things than to beings. Listen more often to things than to beings. 'Tis the ancestors' breath when the fire's voice is heard. 'Tis the ancestors' breath in the voice of the waters. Those who have died have never, never left. The dead have a pact with the living. They are in the woman's breast. They are in the wailing child. They are with us in our homes. They are with us in the crowd. The dead have a pact Listen more often to things than to beings. Listen more often to things than to beings. 'Tis the ancestors' breath when the fire's voice is heard. 'Tis the ancestors' breath in the voice of the waters.
As part of our tradition, we have designated December Share the Plate offering to go towards the Minister's Discretionary Fund at First UU. This fund is a critical resource that allows us to provide assistance for those in need of basic necessities such as rent, utilities, and food. Your generous donation helped our minister provide confidential aid to individuals and families who are experiencing financial hardships or emergency, and we welcome and appreciate any amount that you can give. And as we come to the close of the month, I want to express my gratitude for your generosity throughout the year. Your contributions have and made a difference in the lives of those who need it most. Please look to the monitors of ways to give. The ushers are passing the basket, and the offering will be taken and most graciously received.
She was going to do
For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. We are our grandmother's prayers. We are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are mothers of courage, fathers of time, daughters of dust, sons of great visions. We're sisters of mercy, brothers of love. We are lovers of life and the builders of nations. We're seekers of truth and keepers of faith. We are makers of peace and the wisdom of ages. We are our grandmother's prayers. We are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are.
Good morning. We are one. We are one, a diverse group of proudly kindred spirits, here not by coincidence, but because we choose to journey together. We are active and proactive. We care deeply. We live our love as best we can. We are one, working, eating, laughing, playing, singing, storytelling, sharing, and rejoicing, getting to know each other, taking risks, opening up, questioning, seeking, searching, trying to understand, struggling, making mistakes, paying attention, asking questions, listening, living our answers, learning to love our neighbors, learning to love ourselves, apologizing, and forgiving with humility, and being forgiven with grace, creating the beloved community together. We are one. Thank you.
We are one. And before we give the closing hymn, I know some of you are looking at your watches and saying, man, 20 minutes past. But, you know, it's a Baptist thing, so we'll be here a little bit longer today. I want to get to do this a few times during the year, so please bear with me. I wanted to thank the Reverend Dr. Charlene Sinclair for a wonderful message. Our other participants are Reverend Dr. Faith Harris, Dr. Rashida Gray, and Reggie Gordon, Kristen and Jamie with the music, and our wonderful youth, Amani, Isaac, Andrew, Adam, Lucy, and Ruby. Thank you all for this wonderful day, and we've had church this morning. So on that note, please rise in body and in spirit, and let us sing our closing hymn, Lift Every Voice.
presence, my love stage presence.
We didn't actually talk, so, but I think not only for just kind of letting it calm down, but for you to have 15 minutes before the service, that would be, I think that'd be good for you. But it's, I'd kind of like to do that. I was being a little too ambitious today, and like I said, as soon as I started the music,
I just wanted to do that.
Eric decided that he needed to turn something off, which turned off the music, and then he turned something else on. So anyway.
Yeah, we can start working that into the
Yeah, I mean, it might give people a chance to come in here and sit down and in a relaxed way.
Insurance, like, he wants me to be playing in 5 to 10 minutes beforehand, but like, I've always got shit to do, and I feel like I'm focusing on it, so no. So this is good.
Well, maybe
like
I'll talk to him about it next.
No, just do it.
Well, I'm already planning on